You know that voice inside your head? The one that says, you're not good enough. You're messing this up. Everyone sees your flaws. It's strange, isn't it? If a stranger talked to us the way our inner critic does, we'd walk away instantly. But when it's her own voice, we listen. Today, we're going to explore that hidden character living rent-free in your mind, the inner critic. Where it comes from, why it feels so powerful, and most importantly, how to stop letting it run the show. The inner critic doesn't shout, it whispers. It waits until you're about to take a leap, starting a project, introducing yourself, speaking up in a room, and then it leans in with doubt. Sometimes it sounds like a parent's scolding voice, other times like an imaginary audience judging you under a spotlight. Its power comes from subtlety. You rarely notice the exact moment it speaks, you just feel smaller afterward. Psychologists say this voice is actually a protective mechanism. It's not trying to ruin us, it's trying to keep us safe. If we never take risks, we'll never fail. Or so it believes. But protection becomes prison. Because the inner critic doesn't just shield you from failure, it shields you from growth. It says, don't write that story, it'll be embarrassing. And so you never discover your talent. It says, don't ask that question, people will think you're dumb. And so you never learn. Left unchecked, this voice becomes a constant background hum. You may stop noticing it consciously, yet it shapes your choices, shrinking your world inch by inch. Ironically, the inner critic wants us to be safe, but safety, in excess, becomes suffocation.
So where does this voice come from? To understand it, we have to travel backward, into childhood. When you were young, every mistake felt huge. Spilling juice on the carpet, forgetting homework, saying something silly in class. Each moment planted a seed of self-consciousness. Over time, those seeds grew into an inner supervisor, a voice reminding you, be careful, don't mess up again. Evolution plays a role too. Humans are social creatures. Our survival once depended on belonging to the tribe. Being cast out meant danger, so our brains evolved hyper-awareness of rejection. The inner critic is like an ancient smoke alarm, shrieking at the faintest sign of disapproval, even when there's no real fire. In psychology, this ties into self-schema, the internal blueprint of who we think we are. If your early blueprint was filled with criticism, the inner critic becomes louder. And culturally, many societies reinforce it. We're told to be humble, stay in line, don't brag. Over time, the voice gets carved deeper, like grooves in a record. But here's a paradox. The inner critic is not your enemy. It's an outdated guardian using fear as its only tool. The problem is not its existence. It's that we've mistaken it for truth.
Fast forward to adulthood and the inner critic shows up everywhere. At work, it whispers before you raise your hand. Don't speak, you'll sound dumb. In relationships, it mutters, they don't really like you, don't get too close. In creativity, it sneers, this isn't original, who do you think you are? It's the voice behind procrastination, not laziness, but fear disguised as delay. It fuels comparison. You scroll through social media and the critic says, look how much further they are than you. It even sabotages self-kindness. Try giving yourself a compliment and the critic rolls its eyes. Don't be arrogant. The consequence? We live half-lives. Decisions are made not out of desire, but avoidance. We don't chase what excites us, we dodge what scares us. And here's the cruelest twist. The inner critic becomes most vicious right before breakthroughs. Just before you're about to step into new territory, it panics because growth feels unsafe. But breakthroughs never arrive if we silence ourselves before they begin.
So how do we handle this relentless inner voice? The key is not to destroy it, but to transform our relationship with it. Step 1, name it. Give your inner critic a character, like Nagging Nancy or Sergeant Doom. When it speaks, you'll remember it's not you, Step 2, dialogue with it. Instead of obeying or fighting, ask, what are you trying to protect me from? This flips criticism into conversation. Step 3, counter it with evidence. When the critic says, you always fail, remind it of times you succeeded. Step 4, shrink its stage. Critics thrive in silence, but when you share your fears with friends, mentors, or even a journal, its power weakens. Finally, remember, courage is not the absence of the critic. It's action despite the critic.
That voice in your head will probably never vanish completely, but you don't have to let it hold the microphone. Every time you choose to speak up, create, or step forward, despite its warnings, you prove the critic wrong. So here's the question. The next time your inner critic whispers, don't do it. What small act of rebellion will you take anyway?